I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And I just want you to know it's amazing that you are not dead, bleeding out of your rectum, or have boils the size of babies' heads all over your body. Well, if you're an American, because we in America have one of the worst chemical-filled, genetically engineered diets of any industrialized country on the planet. Now, to you people that love your red meat and your Mountain Dew, I think you better turn this off and go get your heartburn meds, because this is going to piss you off and then make your favorite things become poison in your brain. Do you know that in America there are over 1,000 substances in our food that are banned in other countries? Banned. They are not allowed to be consumed by humans in other countries. But here in America, eat up, Chester. Hell, we got too many people anyway, so wolf down that farm-raised salmon that is colored with petrochemicals and cause eyesight damage. Whee! I'm so healthy, I'm eating fish. Wait, I can't see my fish. There's an array of other cancer-causing toxins in farm salmon, too. Yeah, keep eating healthy and you'll die earlier. Wow. Now, we all know that soda is bad for you, but I didn't know how bad. A lot of citrus sodas like Mountain Dew, there's a thing called brominated vegetable oil, which was developed as a harmless flavoring. Nope, I'm kidding. Brominated vegetable oil was originally developed as a fire retardant. So to all you Mountain Dew-sucking soda fans, don't worry at the next 4th of July picnic, because your tumors can't burn. BV also is a nervous system depressant and an endocrine disruptor causing reproductive and behavior problems. So instead of wearing a condom, people, you can just do the do. Now, this shouldn't surprise anyone. In the capitalist mecca of the planet Earth we call America, taking care of the population isn't really the first priority, is it? Nope. Just make sure we can make it cheap enough and make it taste good enough so we get addicted to it, then get cancer from it, then have to enter the healthcare system that'll take all of our money, so when we die, our kids can only afford to drink Mountain Dew anyway. May the circle be unbroken. You know, we got a problem, people. From sunscreen to energy bars, from red meat to irradiated apples, America is not the land of milk and honey anymore, but the land of genetically modified tumor-filled red meat and refreshing carbonated petrochemicals disguised to look like Christmas presents. America, it is now time to get rid of any politician that lets these companies continue to poison us. It's time to get smart about food, people, now. Or you can get smart about hospice care and funerals. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. We have something different going on today. We have a guest, because our normal Bombshell is she's actually saving her mom's life at a health center in down south. With me today, well, across from me is the fetus.
What's up, people?
That's not what you say.
Oh no, you're
right. That's not what you say. Go back. Let's do it again. Oh, my God. You screwed up. So with me is the fetus.
Hey.
There you go. And sitting over on my right in the Bombshell spot is Lourdes Cologne. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Lourdes, we've been friends. We've known each other for a long time. Since the Landmark Forum seminars. Yeah. And let me give you guys a little background of what I know, and then she can jump in. So we're in the seminar. We do the seminar series at the Landmark Forum. We go on Monday nights. Lourdes gets on one night and basically says, I have cancer. I'm going. They told me I'm going to die, and I'm going to beat it. That's what you stood up and said.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like 5 years ago, right? Or longer?
6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay, so, that's great. You're going to stand up, beat cancer. We all went, yay, good, knowing that it would never happen. You know, because that's what everybody says. When someone gets cancer, now, isn't that true? Like, if someone gets cancer and they're positive, I'm going to beat this. Then we all go, oh, yay. It's like when a guy in a wheelchair says he's going to be a gymnast. Oh, yay, good for you. Yes, you are. You can do it.
Yeah.
Because when you hear cancer, you think dead. You just go, you might as well replace the word, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so talk into the mic a little bit so I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what happened. So you had what exactly?
Well, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Right.
Which is cancer in the lymphatic system.
Right.
You know, your immune system, which is really important to help you fight anything. So
right.
Here I had it inside there. Let me get this sucker right
there. You go.
There. Okay.
You got one of those voices for like. Doesn't you have like a cool voice?
Yeah.
Like for like, chicks don't have that kind of voice. A lot of them sound like Kawasaki's that dropped the valve. Like, oh my God, it's good to be. You have this. Well, I had leukemia, and me and Brian are like, all right then, okay, yeah, I'm listening. I'm riveted at this point. So go ahead. Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma, right?
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Right.
And then I was told, like, the whole procedure they were going to do, like, put this thing, a port inside, and like just these crazy things they're going to do just to prepare me for chemotherapy and then later radiation. And, of course, in my mind, I'm going, well, that's not going to happen because I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to figure out how to beat it because there's got to be a cure. I've seen way too many people follow that road, and more than most of them die. Some beat it, but not really, because then they have all these other side effects. And within the 15-year, the true year, because pharma only gives you that 5-year mark. So
that's what I've been. So since Bombshell got cancer, I've been doing a lot of research. I get psycho. I told her when she first got it, "You're beating this. We're beating. I don't care. We're doing everything. We're going to throw everything at it. We're going to do it." Yeah. So she found this great doctor, went to chemo, and the guy's kept some people alive for a long time. So then I start doing more research. Check this out, Fetus. So they say if you cured it, if you live 5 years. That's not that, but they figured out over the years they've rigged the game because that's as long as anybody survives on chemo is 5 years. That's as long as putting poison in your body turns out burns you out after 5 years. Yeah. You know, so and then the chemos now. And by the way, I got a lot of angry stuff last week. I want you guys to know something. If you're on chemo and it's working and it saves your life, good for you. I'm telling you, in my experience and what I'm learning, that the odds are not good. It's like a 2 to 5% total. So if you're on chemo and it's working, keep doing that. Do what you got to do. Right. It wasn't working for Bombshell anymore, and you decided not to do it. Right. Why? Because that's crazy when the doctor. But people think you're nuts, right? Because we all have this.
Of course.
We have this
mindset.
Okay with that. Yeah. No, we have this mindset that you're not taking your treatment. No, I'm not going to pump DDT-based poison into me.
Yeah, I had actually everybody angry at me. They were just like, "Why would you do that? What are you, stupid?" And it was always, "What are you, stupid? Well, I'll see you at your funeral." And I got that a lot. And so.
Oh, this was your family. This is your close family, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See you at your funeral. Thanks, Mom. Listen.
Yeah. And then, of course, some of my friends just would say I was stupid.
Wow.
But it didn't matter what they were saying. I got clear what I was going to do. And I thought this way I not only will get rid of the cancer, I'll learn from it, and I'll teach everybody else from it. Because it's like, if I just did it their way, I knew eventually I would die anyway. Because I learned in my process of research that chemotherapy and radiation not only cause cancer, which I thought that's
what I
weird.
found out. That's something else I found out. Yeah. Did you know this? So there was someone at the center where Ray Rachel was telling me I'm not supposed to talk about what she's doing because she's going to do it when she gets back. She doesn't want me to talk about it because she wants to own it. She doesn't want me burning any jokes. Yes. That's all she's cared about. And there's a lot of there's what do they call it? Jokes, enema jokes. There's a bunch of jokes that she wants to. She said, "Don't you burn my stuff." So there's a lady down there that had breast cancer, and she said that she knocked it out for a while, and then the chemo gave her bone cancer. Right. See, when you say right, none of us think that's cool. None of us go. You say right, like that's just a fact. We go, what?
Oh yeah. In fact, if everybody took the time to read the book they have you sign. To get the chemotherapy, in there it will say that it does cause cancer. Like chemotherapy and radiation does, in fact, cause cancer. It gives you secondary cancer, and it metastasizes the one you already have. And what happens is chemotherapy and radiation cannot get rid of the cancer stem cell. The cancer stem cell is what caused the tumors and the growth and the cancer. So when you have that stem cell that's not going away, chemotherapy and radiation can't get rid of it. Now, all it really can do is shrink it enough to where you can't see it, and that's what they call remission.
And you still have how many? Like you still have like 1 million cancer cells in your body, right?
Oh yeah. If you can have millions of cancer cells, they can't detect it. You have to have billions of cancer cells in order for a doctor to actually detect it.
Ugh.
So that's why when they get it to that point, they're like, "You're good. You know, it looks good, you're great, you're fine, we took care of it." And everybody's like, "Yay, I no longer have cancer," which is not true because they never got rid of the cancer stem cell and the cancer's still there. So that's why they give them the 5-year mark because they've learned that many will get it within the 5 years.
Right.
Many will, and many will die from it. But the number is a lot more higher in the 15-year mark. So what they did is they took it and they knocked it down to just 5 years so that their numbers look good. What they don't let people know that within the 15 years, if you did chemotherapy and radiation and you've never changed anything in your life and you're still doing the same lifestyle that
still eating bacon in the morning, still wolfing down sugar cheesecakes at night.
Oh yeah, the artificial flavors and colors and you
sounds like a Friday.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's kind of wanted you to hear this because you're 24. Your life is never going to end for you.
I'm living forever.
You're living forever. That's your mindset right now. And
until you find out
like
later.
we didn't know. Just so you guys know how Lourdes got back into our life, and it was weird because Mom got to this point where she got to the end of chemo. She was done. They gave her this platinum chemo, which is like, when they say platinum chemo, all it means is it's way more poisonous, which is such a weird way to categorize
It's like an album,
Yeah.
We're going platinum.
Yeah, we're going
That's great.
platinum. What's it going to do? It's going to knock you out on your ass for 2 weeks, or you barely will be walking the edge of death. That's basically what happened. And at the end of it, Mom said, I can't do this anymore. So I went into panic mode. Ray went into panic mode. We were in Portland, and I just started researching. Well, I picked up my computer one day, and it said Facebook was telling me they were going to shut off my messaging. And I go, wait. And they said, you haven't checked your messages in 2 years or whatever, So I started checking my messages, and like the fourth message down is from Lourdes, because I'd hit you up on something a while back when Mom first got cancer, and I said, what did you do? And she sent me this really nice reply that I never responded to.
Classic.
So basically what would happen, classic, that's someone who works for me, by the way. So what happened was I called Lourdes, and I said what? And so we met, because Mom's old school, she's at chemo, and doctors are doing it, and we met, and we had this dinner, and Lourdes told her story, and at one point, I was like, if Mom doesn't do this, you're dumb. There's nowhere else to go.
Right.
And now she's at the center right now, by the way. So go ahead. So
excited.
So the stem cell won't die, so which means cancer's still alive in your. So basically, chemo doesn't kill the cancer; it knocks it back far enough to where you don't seem to have it. You seem healthy, but if you go back to your lifestyle, boom, it comes roaring back, and that's what we saw, by the way.
Yeah, and the thing is that you also have a lot of health issues because of it, because it does cause other health issues. So on top of it, not getting rid of the cancer stem cell, the chemotherapy and radiation actually strengthens the cancer stem cell, which is why it makes it tougher when it comes back the second time around.
Is that why it rages back?
Oh yeah, and it's not that it's the second time. It's because that's how they say it came back again. It's like it was always there. You just strengthened it. So now it comes back, and it comes in other areas, which is called metastasized, right? Metastasized to another area. It's like, no, it's the same cancer that you've had. Now it just kind of grew and spread because you strengthened the cancer stem cell to go to other areas to come back worse.
So it's it's interesting how I just got something. I just got that they split our body up into pieces. It metastasized to your liver, but that's no. You're a human being who has cancer.
Right.
You have cancer right now, and it's in you.
Right.
It's not in your liver, your brain. It's
No.
in you.
You have it. And
Yeah,
once
you're
you
not
do
in
that-
sections.
Exactly.
I just got that. You're not in sections. You have cancer.
Right. And so they always say, well, if you have this type of cancer, we do this, and they do these different types of poison of chemo, right? It's all the same thing. It's just poison, which is why they give you really high doses of Benadryl through an IV, because if not, you would die from it, because it is poison.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so what happened to you? So you had the Hodgkin's lymphoma. Then what happens?
So I started doing research, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do chemotherapy radiation, because why do I want to put something in my body that's not only going to destroy my immune system that I need to help me fight
the cancer.
illness, then it's going to destroy the major organs that I need to function, because it scars that as well.
Yes, because it has to filter through your liver, right?
Exactly.
So poison's filtering through your liver. The poison is killing your immune system, and that's how they say you're fighting cancer. This doesn't make sense to me.
No.
When you start hearing it like this, you just go, what? But people are afraid you're going to die.
Well, and that's the thing. Is for me, it's like, well, why would I destroy my body to try to fix something that's already destroying? Like destruction just is destruction. It doesn't make any other way of sense to me. So
what made you do this? I don't understand this thing. Like most people would just jump on the chemo train and try to cure it. Yeah, right.
Well, you know what? I learned clearly. First of all, I'm very intuitive, and that's just been my whole life. And my mother-in-law, of course, they're like, that's bad. That's the devil stuff. But I got clear as I went on that I'm going to go with my gut feeling. I'm going to allow myself to be intuitive when it comes to stuff like this. And
Your life.
I could read doctors. Like, they'll talk to me, and I got clear that they're going to talk super nice. Like, if you're selling something, you're not going to be an ass to the person, because fat chance they're going to buy from you.
Especially at $18,000 in
Right. But if I'm really kind to you and I act like I really love you and I just want to do the best for you and let's do what we can do to fix you, you're going to be like, okay, he's going to try to fix me. Well, no, that's how he was trained, to make sure that you're allowing him to put poison in your body. Who else would say, hey, I'm going to put poison in your body? No. But if you
listen,
trust
idiot.
me,
Listen. No. I'm the hard sell. Listen, you have cancer and you need poison. What? That makes no sense at all.
Exactly. So
It's a dumb way to sell, isn't it?
And the thing is that they tell
We're gonna.
people,
I can look at Fetus right now. We're gonna die in a suspicious one-car accident, aren't you? Huh? You're scared. Like, I can. The look on his face, like we shouldn't be doing this.
Oh no, the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, that's all it takes. So keep going.
Well, so the thing is that what happens is immediately, because they're trained in a certain way. First of all, they're not trained how the body works nutritionally. That's not what they do. They never get trained that way. It doesn't help pharma. Now, there was a time
You can't
was.
patent wheatgrass.
No, you can't patent. You can't patent anything that's natural.
Right.
But if it's a chemical that's destructive, absolutely. But there, and so that, and there's the problem is that they're only going to give you what's going to make them money. Another thing is oncologists, and I learned through my research is.
Now, I want to say something though, because
Yes.
I think when we get here,
Yeah.
That sentence to me crosses a little bit into tin hat territory where you go, because I do believe doctors want to help if they can
absolutely.
help. I believe.
Course.
I don't believe they're like, we're going to make money and poison these people and get out of here.
No.
Like that.
Got him.
No, that's not. Actually, what it is for them, you're doomed. And there's nothing they can do. They can try to maybe stretch your time out a little bit.
Yeah.
In the process, they're going to make money.
We
So
got
for them,
told
it's a
that.
win-win.
When we took Mom we went to CTCA. I would never take anybody in a million years to CTCA. Sat down. They said, hope, love. There's the survivor wall. Go read the names on the survivor wall. Blah blah blah. Hope, hope, hope. First meeting.
Yeah.
Well, you have 4 months to 10 months to live. Now it's now almost 2 years. Now we're 20 months in. So we've helped her stay alive this long.
And that's my point. Is like it's not that they didn't go to school to go. I can't wait to kill people off and make money in the process.
Right.
Their whole thing is they're going to try, because you have to remember they're also brainwashed by pharma. They're trusting.
They're also getting paid a lot of money
right.
by pharma.
Well, they get paid a lot of money by pharma, but pharma's not only making it interesting with the money, but they're saying this is the only way. So because they're not shown any other way, why would they even think there's another way?
Right.
And then they're taught that these people out there are just quacks. Don't listen to them. They're nuts. So then to them, it's like they're nuts. So if you're not in...
It does sound wacky, though. It does sound
Right.
wacky. Oh, wait, really? You're going to do 22 ounces of wheatgrass a day. You're going to do wheatgrass enemas. You're going to meditate. You're going to calm down, take all the stress out of your life, and that's going to cure cancer.
Sounds like a bunch of wizard mumbo jumbo.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Right.
It's very Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's very Harry Potter.
Yes, and when that's the thing is there was a time where that's what we did do. We did use herbs and foods and stuff that got things better.
Except for the fact that Chinese medicine continues to stay around at 5,000 years. So I guess
And
it's
it's
like
herbs.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
by the
All
way,
these different
since it's
herbs.
been around 5,000 years, that means I got to believe in the Bible now too, because it's been on 2,000. And if it was just made up, it wouldn't have hung around so long.
Right.
Not everything that hangs around is good.
Say the Bible's a good book. So most of it, just the people that read it didn't read it right. Did it really say that? Don't read the book. Read it right. So now we're doing. I want to go through your story, because
Sure.
I believe it's more personal. When I hear what you did, you just kind of get stunned. And they're down at the center, Rachel and her mom right now, Bombshell and her mom, and they're seeing it with them. So tell me what happened. So you started doing what you started doing.
So I started doing my research. I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot. Like there were certain things that you can buy in products that you think is food is really not. So I started going through all my canned goods, and there was certain little ingredients that I didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's terrible. It's carcinogenic. It causes cancer. So I'm going, did you know that most of the food that we have in our cabinet is cancer-causing?
Right.
So on top of that,
I go any ingredient with an X in it. There's nothing in nature that has an X, right?
it's like
No.
X
No, see, that's what if it's got an X.
I think flaxseed isn't spelled with an X. Is
No,
it?
no. Flax, no flax. But flax, but it's not the first one.
No, it doesn't start
If
with
it's
an
got-
X.
Yeah,
No.
or a lot. If it's got 4 consonants in a row and it's a Z, Y, X, and a K, it's probably not
Yeah,
from nature.
If I have
Yeah,
trouble saying
yeah.
it out loud,
Yeah,
that's probably
exactly.
an issue.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like most of our foods. So then I learned if it's in a bag, a can, or a box, don't eat it.
Period.
Period.
So we are all going to starve to death now.
So you need to start eating fresh.
Right.
So you go to the produce section where it's not in a box. or
Sounds
a bag.
expensive.
Actually, you know what's funny? It's actually cheaper.
Really?
I thought it would be expensive, but when I just stopped buying the junk and all the money went to the good food,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, wait a minute. I thought that was going to be expensive.
It's
like, it
labor
wasn't.
intensive, though.
Right, but you know what? What makes it great is that you make enough that you have it for a day or two, so you have leftovers.
right.
So then you just have to warm it up. But then
So
you
you-
don't want a microwave.
Right. So wait, I want to get to this part after we hear your story, because I'm going to
Yes.
get to this. I'm going to get
Yes.
because let's tell them, because right now
Okay, okay.
I'm going to know what you did, then we
Okay.
know what to do.
So what I did is I changed my diet. I became vegan.
Okay.
I didn't eat any animal products of any sort.
Did you hear that? Was half our listeners just shutting off?
Yeah.
I almost me.
No,
Okay, vegan.
Here's why, though.
Oh,
Keep going.
And I did it because I read this book from this scientist, Campbell T. Was it something Campbell?
Is this a China
Campbell.
study?
Yeah, the China study.
Yeah.
And
We've talked about that a lot,
Yes,
I
and he made a complete over 30 years he did this study, and he was showing how animal products not only spread cancer, he could actually get it to go away or come, just depending on what he gave the rat.
Right.
So he did this entire study. And
Those
many
rats,
things.
Those rats got
Poor things. They were like, yeah.
They're like, I feel great. What the hey.
I was just good.
Yeah,
What's with this lump?
Hey, I'm feeling better again. Oh, what I feel like.
Yeah, and he did it not just with rats. He did it with people. Like he was showing the difference, even with down to heart disease.
I heard it was kids too. There was a bunch of kids. There was kids. The
so
kids in the
many.
rich neighborhoods were eating meat.
Yes.
And the weird thing was, it was like they were getting the cancer. He couldn't understand why the rich kids were getting sick. And the poor kids weren't, because the poor kids were eating vegetables and stuff, because that's all their parents could get them.
Because it's cheaper.
Right, cheaper.
See, so it is cheaper to eat healthier.
Just don't go to Whole Foods.
No.
Whole Foods.
It's like an arm and a leg. Just to get
whole
like,
paycheck is what we call it. Whole vegetables
paycheck.
cheaper unless you go to Whole Foods. There's a great place here in L.A. Next to Trader Joe's called Sprouts. Yeah, there's a place called it's called Farm Boy, and what they do is they go in the morning and they pick it's two Asian ladies, and they go pick the fruit, and it's a little tiny store. It's next to the one on Riverside and Hazeltine.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, Farm Boy.
Okay, Farm Boy. I'm going to
just
check that
packed
out.
with vegetables.
I love that. And of course, Farmer's Market, I do that a lot.
Yeah.
But it's...
So what'd you do?
So I started doing that. I started doing a lot of juicing. And I learned that the reason why you want to juice is because you're saturating your cells. Like if you want to go, well, I'll blend it. Well, no, then you'll be stuffed. You can't finish a whole glass because you're getting both of the fibers. You only need one. You don't need both of them. You don't need the bulk of it.
So you don't need all. So to nourish your body, you don't need. You're saying you don't need all the.
Because there's the soluble and the non-soluble fiber.
Okay.
So
soluble. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Soluble. Yeah.
That's
sorry, you're a little Hispanic.
accent.
You're a little Hispanic.
I'm a little Hispanic. A lot that comes out here.
I'm a
and there.
tiny bit Hispanic.
Sometimes it comes out and I go crazy. But so I thought, okay, I get it. So so then I would do you name it. It was like more greens. So I did a lot of celery and cucumbers and ginger and turmeric roots, and I added all those with apples and just grapes. You put it all together, and because you use so much of it, that you end up concentrating and drinking a lot of nutrients, micronutrients.
You're like a pound of vegetables, basically.
Yes.
By taking it out and just taking the juice, you're drinking like a pound of vegetables and all the nutrients.
Exactly. And then your body doesn't have to break it down. You want to use that energy that your body uses to break down to heal. So when you're juicing, now you're saturating your cells. It's going directly into your cells. It doesn't have to break it down. It's using all the energy literally just to heal you, which is why it works.
And that makes sense. That so all the stuff in celery, all that pulp and all the oranges and all that stuff, you don't want that. That's why you want juicing.
Right. You can do that after you're better.
This makes a little sense. I hate that. This makes sense. Now, okay, so keep going. So you did that,
So
and
I
then
did
what
that.
happened?
I did a
and
lot
now
of
were you getting
wheatgrass.
tumors or anything? Were you sick?
At the time I had some tumors. They were very visible because it was in my lymphatic system.
They were like your lymph nodes were big and stuff?
Yeah, you could see them.
Oh,
they were
no.
crazy around my
You were
neck.
bumpy. That's weird.
It was lumpy.
Brutal.
Yeah,
I was
right?
totally lumpy. And so once it was starting
Sexy.
to go away, I was like in my natural pearls.
I have got 7 boobs now.
Check out my lumps.
I had the small one and the large one. Which would you like? So it was going away rapidly, and I at the time I had a problem breathing, but when I was doing that, I was fine breathing. Like I was breathing fine. I didn't let my cough went away. I could sleep on my right side before I couldn't because of the tumors.
So wait a minute. So
shrinking.
you started juicing, and how long did this take? A couple months?
No, you kidding? It took like a week or two. It was
wow.
Like
but you were
rapid.
like hardcore, like
I was
every
hardcore.
day.
I was hardcore, yes.
Was it like a juice fast, nothing else?
That's all I was doing. Like
Okay.
every day throughout the day.
And that's what Bombshell says she's doing with her mom right now. They had a
Yes.
3-day. They had 2 days of food where they took it down to the blandest food in the world.
It's
And-
raw food.
Yeah, there's nothing. She said, this thing, it all tastes like a wet dish rag. It's fine. That's what she said.
Can I get some pepper?
No. Nope, you can't. So, and then they went to it. And today at 6, Ray goes, she finishes her 3-day juice fast, and she said, I got cold gazpacho. And she sounded like she was talking about a 12-ounce T-bone. She sounded like I get cold gazpacho.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you finally get to have, and it's still not cooked food.
I was on the phone there. She
Yeah.
took a cracker. She went snap, and I heard she goes, oh. What? Who's with you? It's just me and my crackers. So you did all this. So you were juicing like
Yes.
crazy.
And you do a lot of
And your
juicing.
health started to change fairly instantly.
Very fast.
Okay.
It was amazing how quick it was.
Okay.
And that's the thing is that because you want to do raw, and so I was doing the raw because it keeps the enzymes, live enzymes, because you don't want something that's dead and cooked. It doesn't help you.
Where are you getting your protein from in this?
It's in everything.
Okay.
If you
This is a fallacy we got to deal
This is
with.
the thing. If you're eating fruits and vegetables, it has all the protein, all the nutrients, all the phytonutrients, all the minerals you need, different ones. Each, depending on the color of the fruit or the vegetable, has a different type of vitamin and a different type of nutrient. So when you're
And your
eating
body
all
will
those,
use what
yes,
it needs. Yeah.
exactly. And it carries protein. It has to. It wouldn't be a whole food. So everybody always gets told, like, where's the protein? Because we've gotten trained that protein is only in meat, which is not true.
Don't
protein
broccoli
is in
have it?
everything.
Doesn't broccoli?
Well, I was thinking
everything.
like nuts and stuff.
They also have, it's a higher dose. But all fruits and vegetables
Right.
and grains and nuts, and all of it has protein. But it doesn't just have protein.
Right.
It has other things. Now, if you want higher protein, you would go with the legumes, all different types
Mm-hmm.
of beans and the peanuts, nuts, almonds, you name it. Even though you want to kind of stay away from the peanuts because it does have a type of fungus that could also be carcinogenic, so that's why they try to keep you away from it.
cancer fungus.
Yeah, peanut
Oh,
fungus.
man.
Not penis fungus.
Penis fungus
I don't know
is
what
great.
penis fungus is.
I don't know
but
either.
Peanut fungus, I've heard, is bad for you.
I'm sure penis fungus is also pretty bad for
Probably.
you. Probably. I
That
don't
would
know.
be probably scary, yeah.
I don't want to see that commercial either. That toe fungus guy, the little
gross.
demon. I don't want
Head
to
on,
see,
apply
the
directly to
penis
the-
fungus guy. I don't know how we got here.
Nope.
So back to Whole Foods.
Yeah, so everything has, so all of it has everything. If you want really high, you would go with quinoa, which is a grain, which is delicious.
A lot of quinoa.
I love quinoa.
I don't-
That has a lot of
I don't think I've
protein,
ever
by the
even
way.
seen a quinoa.
Oh, you probably seen it, but didn't know it was quinoa.
Probably.
It's like a rice-ish type.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And it's really, really good for you. It's tasty. You cook it just like you do rice. Again, I stayed away from white rice and potatoes because it is high starch and it breaks down to high
I
sugar.
think pretty much around the world, whether it's white bread, white rice, white people, white cops, stay away from white. Well, not unless you look like me, and then we're
Right,
fine.
then you're good.
Then I'm fine.
But and of course bread. I completely steered away from bread because bread is like a glue to the intestinal area, which is where most of your immune system is.
I love
so
bread.
I cut all that out. I was doing that. I was doing a lot
So
of
it
water.
just slows it. Bread just slows you down, slows your immune system down because it's trying to process. It's trying to break it down.
And it's like a glue.
It's glue, yeah.
That kind of sticks there.
It's actually in the name gluten. It's
Yeah.
actually,
So you really don't want.
I'm sure
that.
that's why they did it.
It is. No, that is.
Yeah,
why.
and it's
Yeah.
a dead food. So right now, when you're fighting something, you want everything live with live enzymes, live everything. And so that's what I did. I just ate a lot of fresh, raw everything, juiced a lot, did a lot of wheatgrass because it's not just amazing for many things, but it also carries B17, which is a cancer fighter. And
I
that's
love wheatgrass. It makes me like Ray doesn't have a reaction to it. I'll have 6 ounces of wheatgrass, and I'll be like someone injected me with crack.
So what is?
Like my-
Oh, it does give you a lot of energy.
Yeah, my eyes are like I feel pressure behind my eyes, and I'm like, wee.
So what actually is like wheatgrass though? Like for listeners who've heard that and they just
First of all, it tastes like you're eating lawn clippings. That's number one.
so it tastes like grass.
and I have a tip for everybody if you want to take wheatgrass. But to explain, do you know a little more about wheatgrass?
Yeah, so wheatgrass, it looks like grass, but it's not grass that grows out in the yard. It's very, very different. It is a wheat grass. And on top of having all these amazing vitamins and minerals in it and nutrients, it does have B17. And it does have to be juiced. You can't eat it. You can't chew on it. Our bodies are not made to break that down, so it's not good to do that. You do have to juice it.
Could dogs eat it? Because my dogs love it.
But their intestinal
little bit,
areas
yeah. Okay,
differently.
got it.
So yeah, and that's why cats like to chew on
Yeah.
grass, which is really good for them. And they do it especially when they're sick. So hint, hint. When you're sick, eat green.
Well, here's the weird thing: is that like the wheatgrass juicer spits this stuff out the end,
Yes.
the pulp. And I gave just to see my dogs because I know it's healthy for them too.
Yep.
I gave both dogs so like a couple chunks like peanut M&M size, and they were like more. They ate it more.
Yeah, which is good for them.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
them.
yeah. And in fact, that pulp that you
But
you
why
speak
is it
of, you
so
can
good
soak
for you?
it.
Because it's crazy. It's like medicine. Like when you
It's-
hear what it does,
Well, because it
it's,
attacks the cancer while building your immune system. That's what's so great. Like chemo destroys everything.
right.
Right, so you feel icky and you feel
Hopefully-
like you're dying because you are.
Hopefully, the cancer dies before you do.
Right.
Which
and
is
then,
the T-shirt that you can get from Merck.
Fingers
Merck
crossed.
and Pfizer. Merck and Pfizer give you those
Yeah,
T-shirts.
and then you have to hope that you'll rebuild back what is destroyed. So with wheatgrass, what it does, it destroys the cancer stem cells along with the cancer while it's building your immune system and your cells. Chemo doesn't do that. It just destroys.
Right.
So here it's doing two things, and chemo actually strengthens the cancer stem cell when ginger and wheatgrass and turmeric roots actually destroy the cancer stem cell, which is why you want those things instead of chemotherapy or radiation.
It just makes so much sense. So here's what I don't get. And if it's all about money, I really hate everybody in America right now, because everybody who's on the medical side, because there's a book I read called Radical Remission, where there's story after story, and the doctors kind of blow it off. They're like, "Whoa!" They call it spontaneous remission. They actually have come a name for it, like it's magic. Like they've come up with a name, and they call it. No, he just had. We have a few cases of spontaneous remission. No. Didn't the guy go to like some healing center for like 4 weeks or 10 weeks or 15 weeks and do all that stuff?
Well, those guys are quacks. Don't listen to them.
Yeah, but Doc, he's cancer free though. Doc, he's cancer free. He's cancer free though. What do you mean he's a quack? How could he be a quack if he cured his cancer?
Well, they don't really know anything. We say this is spontaneous. It happens all the time. It's just a crazy coincidence.
Once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Right. So magic is always magic a percentage of the time. Is that what you're saying, Doc?
It's just magic.
Okay. But how come there's a whole bunch of people at the center that are curing cancer?
They're not actually curing the cancer. You see, what they're doing is they're conditioning you to get more sick. And you can only be healthy by listening to us.
Now, the cancer wasn't there, because
can I see your insurance card, please? Yeah, that's the next thing.
Another one that they also say is like when you do get rid of the cancer, we just misdiagnosed them. They use that a lot.
We misdiagnosed it. You must have not had cancer.
Right.
The problem is they've got PET scans and MRIs and stuff that you go, well, Doc, that's cancer. We can go. I can pull 50 other MRIs and PET scans, and that's cancer. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. You had a growth, or you ate some beans, whatever that is. I think did you swallow a beet whole? Because that's what that is.
Right.
So then you start doing. So then you start feeling better.
Yes.
Now there's a weird part to your story. You felt better. You pretty much got almost rid of it, right?
Right. And another thing I did daily, I bought the Klima board, and I did a colonics at home on a daily basis.
Okay. Wow.
And I took probiotics. They said, you're flushing out the good bacteria. I'm like, no, but I'm putting it back right in with the probiotics.
Right.
So I took care of that. So I got rid of the bad stuff, and I did probiotics daily, and and then I did a coffee enema 4 times a day.
You let this is the joke. You let it cool off, right? You don't it's not a fresh coffee, not a fresh brewed coffee.
You make the coffee fresh, but my goodness, you better wait till it's room temperature. Okay. I promise you. Trust me.
But on a cold morning, you don't have to wait too long. On a cold morning, you just want to wait till it doesn't burn you.
Make sure you put your pinky in there, and if it doesn't burn you, then you're good. But if you go out, trust me, you're going to go out as well that way. So
that's so weird. Now, is it green coffee or just regular coffee? You can just go. I go to Starbucks, and you go to Starbucks, and you go, what's best for an enema?
Well, no, I actually go in and just get organic ground coffee at the store, because I don't know what they put in those other places. And they have flavor and all that.
After you do the enema, you're like, that's a dark roast. I like, you know what I like? I like the Brazilian blend the best. Weird.
And what's funny is that, just like wheatgrass, and you drink a lot of wheatgrass, and you can also do wheatgrass enemas, which I did a lot at.
It's so hard to juice wheatgrass too. It takes so long to get enough. How much do you have to do for an enema?
Well, I would do, they'd give you this cup size.
4 ounces, 8 ounces?
Yeah, and you'd put in exactly that inside there. And I would mix it with some water. And that one is actually a little stronger than coffee.
Yeah. Do you feel, does it change your physicality? Because don't you when you do an enema, doesn't it absorb into you instantly? That's what people, you know that weird thing you were doing drugs? People were doing drugs, they were doing butt shots. Remember they were doing they were pouring alcohol into their butts because it made them high. How high do you need to get? I can have one drink and I'm gone a little bit. I'm buzzing. How, you know what? This is not enough for me. I need to put a tube in my butt
and really mess myself
up.
But
so when I found out wheatgrass, does that?
Yes. You want to try. You do want to try to keep it in there as long as you can, because you want to try to absorb as much as you can.
Is it hard?
For me, it was tough, because no sooner than it went in, it was screaming to come out. So, but there are people that I've seen that they did it, and after 20 minutes, nothing came out. I'm like, really? But for me, it was like, no.
It's amazing. It's a contest. See, I'll set the timer on my phone. Boom. Yeah, let's go. Me and you.
Yeah,
if Rachel comes back, I'm having a competition.
I was like, oh my God. So I'd have to rush to the bathroom. But what was interesting, that every time I did do a wheatgrass enema, I was watching dead cancer cells and tapeworm and everything coming out. It was
stuff came out of you, really?
Oh yeah. Which is also in the documentary where you all see the stuff come out.
That's right. You have a documentary. You documented Create Option C: My Journey with Cancer by Lourdes Colon, and that's not out yet.
No, it's not out yet. We did work the film festivals. It won several awards.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah. And so we're working on it right now. There are some people that are interested in airing it on their network. So we'll be talking next week on that, and then doing a movie against it.
So the second you get an air date, we want to know.
Oh, absolutely.
So then, now here's what happened. Got people. I heard this story and I was blown away by it. So Lourdes basically cures cancer and did it without a doctor's help. Really, you had
Right.
she did it with wheatgrass and did it on her own. And they had your doctor had records that you had tumors.
Oh, absolutely.
Done.
Well, it was not just records; you could visually see them. They're pretty bad.
And here's the story is about to take a very bad twist. Now,
Right.
Lourdes goes to the doctor. She says, "I'm fine," and the doctor
Right.
says, "You're not." Then he checks you, and
Right. So what happens is I'm almost done with the cancer. Like there's hardly nothing left. This is in the beginning.
nothing swole up anymore.
Like nothing. Right. You didn't see nothing around the neck anymore. I might have like very little cancer. So I said, this is the best opportunity to now show
Did
people
they do
how
a blood test on you?
Well, I was going to do a PT CAT scan because PT CAT scan actually spreads cancer. It doesn't just cause it,
and it
but
wakes
spreads
it up.
Right.
It's like bitch slaps your cancer awake
right.
again.
And it actually makes it grow quickly. So once I learned that, I thought, well, now that I'm almost done with this, I want to show people how this test that they're doing is going to spread it.
Now let me explain to them because I did a little research on this. Just you tell me how wrong I am.
Yes.
So to light cancer up, people when they want to test you for cancer and they want to see where it is, they shoot you full of glucose because cancer reacts to sugar.
Right.
It's the crack for cancer.
Right.
Sugar is crack for cancer.
Yes.
It lights the cancer. If the cancer starts hauling ass, they can see it now.
Right.
The problem is you've now woken your cancer up.
Right.
Right. So all this work you've done to take this cancer down, avoiding
Right.
sugars, dairy, and animal proteins, you've now woken it right up again.
Exactly. And so because they're
And by the way, I'm a comedian. I'm not a doctor. I'm just
Right.
saying this is what I've read and what I know.
absolutely.
About.
No,
Okay.
you're right. So a PT CAT scan is a radioactive sugar. So on top of being radioactive, which is a cancer causer.
Oh my God.
But it lights it up. And then the sugar, because it also causes cancer and spreads it, it'll show the difference between a regular cell and a cancer cell. A cancer cell, when it sees sugar, it starts stimulating and growing quickly because it's eating it up.
Right.
So now they know where is the benign tumor and where is the cancerous tumor.
Okay.
So that's why they do a PT CAT scan. So when I did that,
So PT CAT is not a bad thing if you have a benign tumor.
Right.
But we can't know
But it
that.
does but it does sit in your body for a while, which could cause cancer. So if you
Because
have cancer,
I didn't know it
just
had
makes-
radiation.
yeah.
I didn't know it was radioactive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So when you do it,
None of this sounds
yeah.
smart, does it, fetus?
No.
no, it's like everything that they do to test it, to check it, everything is a cancer causer and a cancer feeder. So how pharma has set things up is definitely a reason why they're $1 trillion business.
I mean, you got to keep doors open.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
why
We don't
cure
have that
people?
kind of money 'cause
If we
you're not
cured
doing it.
people, then we'd
Well,
be
no. They need to keep people alive as long as possible
to drain them
to get as much money as they can out of them
Right.
before they squeeze out once the toothpaste tube is empty, you just throw it away.
Yeah.
Right, and then you got next.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah. 'Cause you got many people out there eating crappy, and they know this.
Well, that's what bothers me about this whole food thing. So then what happens? So they give you a PT.
So then it gets really bad. It spreads throughout my body.
No, hold on. No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to miss this part.
Okay.
So she goes in. Doctor says you don't have. This is impossible, right?
Right. What happens is I go in, and this is after they do the test now, and they're finding something weird because the cancer where I had and the other areas were gone. But when they did the PT CAT scan, the one spot I did have made it grow.
It just came alive again.
Right. And so then I went to go see my doctor when he told me that, well, they said that it's growing, which wasn't where the area where I did have it in the beginning was completely gone, which was through the treatment.
So you had 5 tumors. It was all pretty much gone at this point. You go in, they give you radiation and sugar. Cancer comes alive again.
Right. Well, I already had one still,
Right.
and it made that one go nuts.
Right.
So, which is why I didn't want to wait till it was completely gone, because then they would have said that I was misdiagnosed. So I wanted to do the test while I still had something
And
left.
you're filming a documentary the whole time.
The whole time, absolutely.
So this documentary was kind of the documentary again. Create Option C, My Journey with Cancer. You were basically trying to show that this could happen. Boy, it's amazing that you're still driving around.
I know.
Yeah.
Trust me. And so then after that, then it was like I had this extra thing that they added to my PT CAT scan, and then cancer just spread. Like immediately I could feel the growth. And by the end of the week, it was not only throughout my body, I looked like I was pregnant because my liver was so enlarged.
What do you think you said they mixed something with the PT CAT scan?
They added this extra tube.
Right.
Why? I don't know. I know at the time they were questioning, like, oh, you're doing a documentary of fighting cancer naturally. And, of course, the whole time I was denying. I was like, no. And then they put me into the room, and they added this extra tube, and then they deleted what they added. And they said it, and then they scanned me, but they said the people that it got scanned to know what I got. And so why they delete everything, I don't know.
All right,
it was
so
a strange thing.
this is the Area 51 part of your story, but continue on.
Right.
I'm fine with it.
So things got really bad.
Right.
And by the
really
end,
bad, like your lung collapse, like crazy stuff.
Like by the end of the week, I had.
So you went in fairly cancer-free, curing it, but by the end of the week, after you saw,
did that. After I did that, by the end of the week,
gosh.
I had cancer throughout my body. My right breast was so enlarged that my nipple actually scabbed open. Under my left armpit, it looked like I had a baby head sticking out of it. It wasn't my right side. And then the tumors throughout was just enormous. I looked pregnant because my liver was so enlarged. I had, through my whole body, you could see like knots, like tumors.
Like nodules.
All the way through, all the way down to my feet. It was really, really bad. I was swollen. I could barely breathe. I had 5% use of one lung, and the other one was completely just full. There was nothing, I was a mess. I was filled up with a lot of fluid. And so I went to the hospital, and they were just pretty much saying, look, you're done. This is it. And
your last couple checks, mail those off.
Yeah, mail those off.
Right.
And then I got a hold of a friend and talked with this doctor in Mexico and decided to go there. I needed to raise funds, so immediately my mom helped me out, and we went out there, and while I was out there, we just continually raised funds so that I can continue to get the treatments. I was out there for 3 weeks.
What did they do in Mexico?
Oh, my gosh. What didn't they do? They did everything but chemotherapy and radiation. So they did everything that was non-toxic, that all was about fighting and beating the cancer while building my immune system.
Right.
And it was done through IVs. It was done through what I was eating, what I was drinking. It was also done through sonotherapy and phototherapy, where I took this herb that would go under my tongue, and it had to be done in the dark. And then 24 hours later, because what would happen is after you put it in, it would go into your system, and it would snug. The herb would go in and snug the cancer cells. And once it would snug it, after 24 hours, you'd go under this light. And the light would set off the...
like an ultraviolet light or something?
Right.
Right.
To let the oxygen be released into the cancer cells, which would then kill the cancer. So that one I loved. That one I saw immediate results.
Wow.
It was amazing, like night and day.
Why aren't we using this kind of stuff if it works?
Because they don't make money here with that, and it cures it, and it doesn't put you in remission. It's actually a cure, not a thing based on keeping the stents.
Do you know the name of that?
The name? No.
All right. Well, we need to find that.
Yeah.
For that
was amazing. I loved that stuff. And then we did the thing where I put my feet in this water, and they'd have this thing around my body and my hand, and the toxins would come out from my feet. It was gross because you would see like this, look like sewage water. So I was consistently doing those things. So on top of the alkaline water that I drink tons of, and the IVs of everything that had to do with beating cancer, which in the documentary it says it because he actually says the names of each thing.
Right.
I would not remember because the names.
So you were there. You were in Mexico for 3 weeks doing like pretty much. They're throwing everything at the wall. At this point.
Yeah. Because it was bad. I had a week to live, so there was no time to waste anymore. So literally, they just did everything. And then they had to get a tube put in because I wasn't breathing because my lungs had collapsed.
Oh my God!
Because of all the fluid that had built up in there.
Right.
And so that kept me from dying. But I left without cancer, so it was great. I was like, okay, awesome. That's when the doctor there said, okay, so you're opening, you'll keep drowning from the inside out. The only thing that's going to save you is you have to scar that. And the only thing that's going to scar your lungs is chemotherapy.
So one of your lung sacs was ripped open. Now this is weird. This is where the story gets weird for me because now they could say, well, chemo cured you. Right,
which is not true because I actually have medical documents showing how I left. And I had medical documents also done here. So so what happens is I come here, but I couldn't tell the doctors, hey, I took care of it. I just need you to give me like 3 lights treatments of chemo to seal this because he said it was going to need 3 of them, but light ones, nothing severe, just light enough to scar it. And it would seal and I'd be fine.
Just a little bit light of Avastin, kicking a little bit of Avastin. Like Mom's had it for 2 years. I know the chemo names now. It's weird.
Yeah. And so since I couldn't tell them, I had to take what they were going to give me, which was the full-on like 5 different high doses of chemo, which then shut down my body and I went into a coma. But I will say this: by the third treatment, my lung was sealed.
Right.
So
Right.
it did seal it.
Nailed it.
It nailed it. It just destroyed a lot of stuff because of the high doses and stuff. So meanwhile, I was done. I was like, okay, this is good.
So now, wouldn't they say? Wait, now wouldn't people say right now that the natural stuff didn't do it because you still needed high doses of chemo?
I actually needed the light dose. They just about killed me.
Right,
here
but
with that.
wouldn't people?
Yeah, they could say that, but then they would have to then explain.
I'm just
it.
being devil's advocate.
Right,
now.
No, you're right.
Right.
And then they would have to explain to me why on the planet was the medical papers show no more cancer.
Why did they send you? Why did they say you were dying like 4 weeks earlier, and then you went to Mexico, come back, and you're tumor free, except they have to fix your lung a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
Like they're, I mean, I have the medical documents.
So now you're out of that last thing of chemo.
Right.
You probably feel like crap.
Well, no, they're giving me more than the 3 doses.
Oh wow.
Right, and which is harsh. So I'm doing everything at home to build. I was doing like 4 coffee enemas a day. I was doing cat's cartilage or shark cartilage, cat's claw, anamu, like you name it. I was pumping it in my body. I was doing wheatgrass. I did everything I could to keep building my body and fighting what I knew chemo would do, which is cause more cancer.
So on top of so I have another story to back. So then what happened? So then you finally got off the chemo.
Right. So I finally got off the chemo, and the thing was, I kept trying to ask the doctor that was giving me the chemo,
Right.
because I knew I didn't have the cancer.
Right.
But they were treating me like I still had it, and they just have to do this regimen.
Right.
So I said, well, do I still have cancer? Like, did the guy lie to me?
Right.
Like, I just couldn't understand.
It is Mexico after all.
Right. And so she would never answer the question. She would just say, there's a regimen, and you have to finish the regimen.
Right.
So she never would say, no, you don't have to. It was only on the last day that she said, even though this chemo, which needs to be put in the documentary. I don't know why that was taken out. I want to get that video back in there, where she actually says that the chemotherapy, there's nothing else it can do for me. It's done. The cancer inside is dead, but they're going to give me one more treatment.
To give you cancer again.
Now, mind you, she just stated, and that's
That
why I
it's-
want
we're
that back
done,
in there, that treatment can't do anything for me. But we're going to give it to you anyway, even though it's destructive.
What did you say to that?
I allowed myself to do it,
Yeah.
and it was only because I'm a little sick like that. I wanted to get and understand what people are going through, and is there a way to fix that? if
That's a
they did
filmmaker.
that.
That's someone that's like
I
that.
know.
Like it was watching Super Size Me. Do you see Super Size Me? I was
Yeah.
seeing it
About
with
killed
that,
himself.
and I was like, you almost died, dude. Your liver was shutting down, and you just kept eating McDonald's.
But he was showing people
Yeah.
what it does, and that was pretty much what I was doing. But I also was doing stuff to take care of myself, which is why I never lost my hair, which shocked them.
So then what happens? So they get done. You're out of the last treatment.
I'm
you feel
done,
like crap.
and then they say, just to be sure, they wanted to do
PET scan.
17 rounds of radiation because there might be a tiny, minuscule thing of cancer that they didn't catch. Right?
So you went from having tumors throughout your body.
Right.
So you went to Mexico, came back, got the lung sealed, did the little 5 rounds of light chemo, which is heavy, and now your entire there's no cancer cells in your body.
Right. But they're saying, hey, you know what? There might be, and we suggest you do this, and da-da-da-da.
Wow.
So...
At what point do you just start flipping tables? You start going, you just go bullshit, and you start going crazy.
Well, no, it was like, I thought, well, let me see what they go through. Like, what do people that go through radiation go through? And I actually thought it's almost worse than chemotherapy. And it's funny because the moment they did do that, I did end up with cancer again. Immediately. I could feel it. And I couldn't swallow, and it was instant. And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And they're like, no. I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
Like, I got clear. Cancer came back from the radiation instantly.
So you went right back to wheatgrass and everything
So
else.
what I did is they went and did a PT CAT scan, and I was correct. It was back. There was in a completely different area, in the area that I said I felt it after the radiation.
So the radiation, the chemo. So you had pretty much cancer down. They wanted
Right.
to seal your lung. They gave you chemo again. Cancer came back again. Chemo, radiation, cancer came back again.
Radiation. When they did the radiation, then it came back instantly.
But it wasn't back from the chemo though.
No, what chemo was doing was setting me up for
Okay.
future cancer. What radiation did is gave it to me instantly.
Okay.
Instantly. And so they did a test, and sure enough, it showed this big growth, and it was what they call a hot spot, which means it's cancer.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, so before I do anything, I'm going to go to Optimum Health Institute in San Diego,
Right.
which is when I went there. And I went there for 1 week. But by the second day, I didn't even feel the tumor anymore. It was gone. So when I went to the doctor, he had me come 4 times because he could not get over how it was gone. So 4 times he tortured me with this thing, checking, and he just like, it's not there, but this test shows it is, and but I got clear that I knocked it out. I knocked the cancer out in 1 week, doing a ton of wheatgrass, doing all the juicing and the raw, the nutrition and the colonics
and the meditating,
all of it, breathing, the techniques, everything.
So now you've been cancer free for how
long? Since the beginning of 2012, and then of course when I got it again from the radiation, I've been there since 4 years now.
4 years cancer free, like they can't detect it in your body. Blood tests don't affect
Nothing.
it anymore.
No.
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a harrowing experience. like I can't even fathom. I just watching Mom, just being on, it's harrowing on the outside. And Rachel's been a caregiver for her mom, and Rachel started having health problems. So why do you think this has become such a big deal now? I was talking about food in the Armageddon update. I think we have now. I don't understand how we are so dumb or corrupt. Our politicians are, that they will continue to let the FDA put chemicals in our food that the rest of the world has said, no, that's deadly. What are you doing? When the World Health Organization comes out and says processed meat is a level 1 carcinogen, which means they've taken studies from around the world, scientific studies, and they're basically, Oscar Mayer is the devil. I mean, he's the Grim Reaper. Processed meats, if you look this up, the World Health Organization says processed meat is a level 1 carcinogen.
Yep.
You know what else is a level 1 carcinogen? Cigarettes.
Yeah.
Now, you can have your BLTs, people, but just know you're also going to have the T in BLT stands for tumor. Bacon, lettuce, and tumor.
Yeah.
I don't have any. There was a joke, and I don't have a joke.
I saw you looking for it. I saw
yeah.
People. Fetus just looked up through his eye. He rolled his eyes back and was like, "I got a joke. I can't know." And then you read it. Then you said it twice in your head.
And decided I just don't have it. Yeah. I decided it was not worth saying. It was not funny.
So Rachel right now is with her mom. She's down there. I'm hearing day to day what she's doing. Wheatgrass like crazy. Colonics. They're doing enemas. It sounds invasive. It sounds horribly invasive, but not any more than putting an IV in your arm and pumping horrible chemicals. At one point, I to her mom, to convince her mom to do this, I did all the research, and her father-in-law was raised on a farm, but that's farm to table. There's nothing in it. He goes, my mom's 87 or whatever. I said, yeah, but she went out and picked it and then cooked it. That's the difference.
Huge difference.
Even the cows, you guys are eating your own meat. Like there's no process gone through it. There's no bacteria. Right. There's no tumors they cut off. There's no hormones pumped into it. I said my final thing was this: listen, wheatgrass, all this stuff, fine. Eat dairy, meat, sugar, whatever. If you don't have cancer, maybe eventually you'll get it. But if you don't have cancer, you can eat that stuff. You can eat it.
Well, I mean,
you shouldn't. It's not good for you.
The thing is, you can do whatever you choose.
Right.
I mean, it's your life, it's your journey. But like I always tell people don't take care of themselves until they have to.
Yeah.
So why wait till you have to? Because when you have to, it gets really scary.
I can't wait to see the documentary. You send me like I'm going to watch it tonight because it was it's just such a weird up and down thing, and you kept filming. I love that you kept going. No, just keep filming. Yeah, but you have tumors again. I know. Just keep filming.
Yeah, I like dying
awesome.
here, but just film.
So,
film it all the way.
I now have, on your recommendation, I have a wheatgrass juicer. I'm doing 6 to 8 ounces a day.
Nice.
I've been eating. I went vegan, but I'm still eating those veggie burgers. But I guess they have some stuff in it too. Like Rachel's telling me, she did a class on food. Canola oil is like one of the worst things in the world. Olive oil is fine until you cook it, and then when you cook olive oil and you heat it up, it turns cancerous. It's a carcinogen.
Right. Even though olive oil can go to a higher degree.
No, olive oil can't.
It's vegetable oil is just carcinogenic.
But like coconut oils,
coconut is better.
Yeah, you could. But she said that even olive oil, once it hits a certain heat,
degree, right,
it turns to a carcinogen.
Yeah,
so
which most people
oil.
cook it. Yeah.
No, not oil. No, coconut oil is phenomenal.
Oh, coconut.
And at Costco, you can get this monster tub.
Even sesame seed oil.
Sesame. There's a 4 or 5 different oils that are great. So people, do me a favor. Look, you have a lot of access. If you're listening to this podcast, that means you have a computer or a phone, and you can look this stuff up. I'm not doing this for any other reason. Like in the Titus podcast, the one thing we don't want to be is stupid. And what bothers me is that when I started researching cancer rates, recurring cancer rates for chemo, longevity of life on chemo, and quality of life on chemo, you start to realize that we've been sold a bill of goods for a long time. In my opinion, not a doctor, I'm a comedian. So you can take me. And if chemo saved your life, God bless. What I'm hearing from Bombshell, and you'll hear in a couple weeks what has gone on with her, is amazing stories of survival. They don't call it terminal cancer down there. They won't. They've even changed the language. At Optima Health Center in San Diego, they've actually changed the language because terminal cancer just basically in your head you're saying I have terminal cancer. Your brain switches on. You're going to die. Right. They call you have a health opportunity.
Yes.
You have there was people that came in to this place with a 0% health opportunity. 0%. Their doctor had said you have 2 weeks to live. You're dead. They went to Optima Health Center. They did what they're doing down there, and there was some people have said 28, 30 weeks, and it's gone. And they're walking. People that showed up in wheelchairs are now walking around, and now they can't say they cure cancer because they don't. They just get you healthy.
Yeah, and you know what's so
funny? They just get you healthy.
Exactly, and it's you don't even have to say they cured. Your body did it. You gave your body what it needed, and your body did what it did.
Well, I can also all these foods stop your system from overworking. Mm-hmm. I heard today that Ray's telling me, that to eat meat and a starch at the same time, you can't mix those because your body doesn't know what to do with it. Right. And yet there's a phrase we have: steak and potatoes. Mm-hmm. Your body, you feel so full and crappy after that because your body can't take those two things and deal with them at the same time. So the two chemicals that digest them, from what Ray said, the scientists cancel each other out, and it takes forever to digest it.
Oh, yeah. We mix our foods the wrong way, which is one of the things I do like about Optima Health Institute. You get this thing, and it shows you if the circles touch.
You can have those.
You can have those together. Yeah. Yeah. I always do that all the time.
Cheesecake and ice cream, those touch.
Oreos and milk. Those
touch. Totally touch. Those are the double, the circles overlap.
Yeah.
They're all together and married.
Perfect.
It's in the death page. That's the death page.
Oh, there's
they
the
do
death
touch.
circle.
Yeah, there's death circles. Those are the death circles. But they touch. What do you do?
They hug and they snuggle.
All right. So now what we do we usually do a little bit of a world update. So we're going to read some silly news. So by the way, I want to talk about the documentary will be coming out again. Create Option C: My Journey with Cancer. You didn't just get it once. You got it a couple of times and kept fighting it. So you basically did your own China study in a weird way.
Yeah. I let them give it to me right back, and then I knocked it out.
I'm not. People remember, a lot of doctors are C-. A lot of C- plumbers, a lot of C- doctors. And now, you get this today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And now, from sea to shining sea, coast to coast, and sometimes space, it's the fetus with the fetus news. All right, very nice. The stuff we do every week.
World of chess in uproar after women told they must play at next year's World Championships in Iran wearing hijabs.
All women, even if you're not Muslim.
Yep, you are required if you're going to the World Championships in Iran
to
look
like a ninja.
To look like a ninja.
It's like ninja chess. You get to play ninja chess. The queen, the third 12 square 3. Huh.
All women in Iran must wear the hijab. If not, they will face arrest or punishment, even if they're going for chess.
I sense there's not going to be a whole lot of tourism, not a lot of tailgating at the
Middle
Eastern chess tournament.
The U.S. champion Nazi Pikidze is threatening to hold out if they don't change the location.
She show up in a bikini. Like, what's up? What's up, babies? Yeah, punish this.
Checkmate.
Checkmate. She just walks up, flips the table, and leaves.
Boom.
Wow, that's crazy. What makes you think that because you have a country and you believe something that you should make me believe that? We're kind of spoiled in America. A lot of people don't understand this. We're really spoiled because we were raised with freedom and you get to do what you want and within the law without hurting somebody else. And when we hear something like that, we're like, bullshit.
That sounds awful. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. It'd be like making everyone come here have to wear a cowboy hat. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Ridiculous.
Why did you make me wear the cowboy hat? In Africa, we don't wear the cowboy hat.
Why'd you make me eat this red meat?
Yeah.
Did you know this causes cancer?
Yeah. Did you listen to the Titus podcast?
Dumb idiots.
Yeah. All right, next story.
Florida cop sued despite baking "Sorry I Tased You" cake for the woman he tased.
At what point do you think that's the answer?
So
she's trying to avoid the suing?
So a sheriff's deputy in Florida has learned from experience that accidentally tasing a woman, then baking her a cake does not get you off the hook. Here's a picture of the cake he made for her.
No, all right, people. Cake says, Oh, wow. It's not very well done either.
It looks like a third
Okay,
grader.
listen. Okay, there's so sorry I tased you. People got to go look this up. So sorry I tased you on the cake, on a white cake. There is stick figures of a cop and a lady. The cop has a gun, and there's wires coming out of the gun and zapping the other stick figure.
Oh my God.
So he goes to her apartment.
That's exactly the right response. Oh, my God.
He goes to her apartment
I'm going to start tasteless cakes. I'm going to call it Oh, My God cakes.
to deliver this cake to her. And what do you do if you're this woman? Like, you get this cake from this cop. Do you eat it? Do you eat it? Or?
This is one of the worst days of my life. I was tased. I had darts shot into me, and 50,000 volts ran through me. Thanks for the cake, asshole.
Still suing you. And you know what it is? It's almost like an insult how little effort it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like a 3-year-old did it. It looks like a stick figure. Yeah, I mean, at least go have someone do it.
Right.
Call the cake place. Come up with a badass cake. You know,
Yeah, but don't show that what you did.
yeah. Don't put
Unless
a paint.
Unless
don't
it
put
says,
a,
I'm sorry on it.
Don't
I'm
put a
sorry for
painting.
this.
If that's the level cops think at, this is why black people are getting killed. If that's the mindset of a cop, that's why black people are getting shot randomly.
And
because that's not the smartest guy in the world.
Think of that mindset too. He goes,
People, you got to look this up. Look at I'm sorry I tased you cake. Please look it up. It's hilarious.
I tased this woman. What should I do, Captain? You gotta bake her a cake.
You know what chicks like? Cake. Here's what you do. You tase her, she's going to be mad. You go, you make her a nice cake. You put a little picture as a joke. Yeah, put a little picture of you tasing her. Ha, ha, ha. Give it to her. You're fine. You know what? I bet you she sleeps with you.
You know what?
That's men. That's just men are idiots.
You know what you sound like? You sound like Donald Trump right there.
Oh.
And speaking of Donald Trump...
Do we have a Trump story?
You can now purchase 3D Trump T-shirts that have real hair on them.
No. Wow.
This is from...
It's actually more real than his hair.
This is from Creepwear. You guys can see... you can just search 3D Trump T-shirt, and it's got a picture of Donald Trump on it, and it's made with real hair. That his hair is real hair. You can comb it, watch it wave in the breeze, pet it, and keep it as a pet.
What I'm really glad is, because Trump's running for president, we really are holding people that run for president in high esteem. That we're making T-shirts with hair on them now. We've lost our way as a country. We've really lost it.
Yeah.
And that people keep backing this guy up. I've been really kind of on a tweet firestorm lately. I'm really tired. You know, I'm tired of this. Here's what I'm tired of. Well, you know, they both suck. No, actually, no. Not even close. Not even close. Hillary may be I may not want to hang out with her. She may be a bitch. She may be bitchy. She's been in public eye for 40 years. She may not be the nicest person in the world. But, you know, they started a charity that saved, like, millions of people, got their AIDS medication for them, clean water. You know, she stayed with her husband through all that crap.
Working on clean energy.
Whatever their deal is. They obviously have a deal. Her and Bill have a deal.
They got a deal.
Yeah, there's obviously a deal. Yeah, in the 70s when it was okay to cheat on your partners and swingers, I think they made a pact a long time ago. Although Bill wasn't really happy about Vince Foster. But either way, there's some sort of agreement there. That's their personal business. The rest of it is like it's not the same. Trump ripped off his workers. I'm gonna be clear. Ripped off all his workers. He got 3,500 lawsuits based on ripping people off. He is basically said, if it wasn't my daughter, I'd probably be dating her. Really
That's
creepy
gross.
guy? That's crazy. What else? Let's just go everything. He's bankrupt 4 casinos. Says he's a good businessman. If he'd have just left his money in the stock market and not touched it, he'd be worth $4 billion more than he already is.
It was a small loan.
So
from his
he's
dad.
a shit businessman on top of it. He doesn't know. He didn't know what the nuclear triad is. And, you know, people, I didn't know, but I'm not supposed to know. I'm a comedian. You know what I did? I thought it was going to be a big, really hard thing to learn. Do you know what the nuclear triad is? How do we launch missiles? We launch from the air, we launch from sea, and we launch from land. That's it. That's the nuclear triad. They asked him, which one do you think we could get rid of? That's all. And he didn't know. He had no idea what the nuclear triad is. It's that air, water, and land. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. And he didn't know that. In the last debate, he was a raging douchebag, and he's lied about everybody. John McCain, I prefer people didn't engage with. This guy is not. No, they're not. One of them may be jerky. One of them may be a creep. One of them may be somebody that will yell at you if you said the wrong thing. The other guy is a raging asshole that will set the country aflame.
He's so incompetent beyond
incompetent. How do you not study? You're going up against Hillary Clinton 40 years, and whatever you think of her, 40 years, she knows how to do what she's doing. Right?
I wouldn't hire
I don't
Donald.
like Hillary's, but I don't like Trump either.
Well,
I don't like Hillary either, but
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, I don't think anybody
totally
likes
Bernie.
Hillary.
oh, me too. Yeah, absolutely. High five.
Oh,
Feel
wow,
the burn.
Both you guys. Bernie. No, I was Bernie too. But he wouldn't. But he wasn't going to make it. My only concern about Bernie
he
was
wasn't
that
going to make it because he got rigged out of it.
By the DNC, man.
They admitted it.
They did.
It. They didn't deny it after they were busted.
Trust me, she wins. He's gonna get a nice job, a little nice job. You're gonna have a nice job, Bernie. Boom. He's gonna get. Hey, Bernie, come here.
I wouldn't hire Donald Trump to run a Starbucks or even be a barista at a Starbucks, let alone president of the United States.
No.
He would fail that job interview if I'm a manager anywhere.
Believe me, I can make a latte. Believe
he
me,
does.
the best latte.
You keep saying
I've never made a latte, but believe me, I know more about lattes than Mr. Starbuck himself.
listen, Mr. Trump.
What would you like?
Listen, Mr. Trump. I understand. You're saying that you can, but I haven't seen that you can, and you won't show me.
You don't need to. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be so happy. I can make what do you got? The pumpkin spice. I got the pecan spice. Whatever kind of spice. I can do a latte.
I can't hire you unless you show me that you can do it. Yeah, I don't understand.
You got an espresso?
I can't just.
I can make an espresso.
I can't just.
And I can make it fast. I can make you an espresso.
I can't give
believe
you the
me,
job.
Believe me, you're going to be fine.
I can't just believe
Believe
you. That's
me.
not how this works.
Believe me. That is not how this works. That's what bothers me. If you vote for this fucking guy,
trust me.
he keeps saying,
does
believe
trust
me,
me.
you're going to be so happy. The craziest thing he
Believe me,
said,
trust me.
he
Oh,
goes,
God.
we lose. We lose all the time now. We lose all the time. We lose all the time. No, we don't.
What do you mean we lose?
What are you talking about? With the economy's better, employment's 4.9%. We lose all the time.
Make
But
America great
When I
again.
start winning, we start winning, we're going to win like you have. We're going to get tired of winning. First of all, no one gets tired of winning, you douchebag. Like, he says shit, and nobody holds him accountable. I'm crazy. All right, I'm sorry. So if you want to get your Trump T-shirt with real hair, go to...
It doesn't. The link that Erica gave me only. I think it says go to Creepwear.
Creepwear. Wow, that's so perfect. It's so named right.
Perfect.
You can probably also get a Manson fake swastika to stick on your forehead at Creepwear.
We got time for one more?
Yeah, one more.
All right, one more. Man suspected of having sex with a van.
Suspected? How do you suspect it? Is the van refusing to testify?
So
Why?
Either he was doing it or he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. The van. I don't want to talk about it. The van's just crying.
can you point? They get him a Hot Wheel. They ask him what to point where he got violated.
Yeah.
Right through the
where,
grill, man.
where on the Hot Wheel were you touched?
Michael Henson, 35, is facing charges of indecency after allegedly having sex with a parked van in Dayton, Ohio.
It's just that's so many things weird with that sentence. Allegedly having sex with a parked van.
Officers responded to a call Thursday evening, found the suspect wearing only a pair of black shorts and black shoes, and attempting to pull down his shorts and put his genitals into the front grille of a red parked van, not even his own.
Well, ouch.
The grill. That's
That sounds
sharp.
painful.
This is like it's metal, sharp metal.
He
That's
likes it rough.
Officers who questioned him said
how much ecstasy do you have to take to fuck a van?
officers who questioned him said he was potentially intoxicated.
Wow, but still potentially. But I mean,
He was potentially intoxicated, allegedly having sex with a van.
I would demand they say I was intoxicated. If I got caught fucking a van, I'm like, no, you're going to say I was hammered. Here's a list of drugs I was on. You're not going to say I was in my right mind.
You know what? His bond was his bond was $2,500. That's sounds like a lot.
So it wasn't a new van. It's obviously a very well used.
Well, it wasn't
van.
an underaged van.
Wow, that's a creepy story. All right, guys. Now, Lourdes, I want to go over called Create Option C, My Journey with Cancer, Lourdes Cologne. It'll be coming out. You can go to your Facebook. Tell me your Facebook page.
My Facebook page is Lourdes Cologne.
Lourdes Cologne. But there's a whole story. You kind of can they track it back and look at some of the stuff that happened?
If you go there, you'll see a lot of stuff. In fact, if you go to, I believe it says Create Option C, my documentary on Facebook, you'll also see like photos and stuff that I put up on there.
Great. Thanks for being on today. Next week we're going to do. I have my buddy Presto coming in, who's a physical trainer.
I met him at the forum.
Yeah, we're going to back up. We're going to back up the fat cast with some how to stay in shape and how to keep it off. So this week we cured cancer. Next week we're going to make you live a long life. Well, I don't know. What am I? When did this turn into Dr. Oz podcast?
Dr. Titus in the
Dr.
house.
Yeah, comedian. Take medical advice from a comedian. All I can say is I'm mildly better than the internet. Thanks for listening to the Titus podcast. For myself, the fetus, and Lourdes Cologne taking the place of Bombshell. Later, say peace.
Peace.
See ya.
That was pretty fun. That was a lot of fun.
great. It was great.
Good. We learned about cat. We're going to get a lot of crap for this one. You know that, right? Because what are you talking about? You.
I immediately regret having that ranch chicken wing mix I had for lunch.
How was lunch? You feel it just growing a tumor in your stomach?
There's probably a tumor right now in my just waiting.